Well, good morning. You're watching the breakfast news on Rajya television. Cyclone Foni is our top story. It has hit Odisha's Puri with heavy rainfall. All the details on that big story and much more coming up ahead. Let us start with the headlines. Cyclone Foni hits Odisha's Puri with heavy rainfall, winds of 180 kilometers per hour. 10,000 villages, over 50 towns in 9 districts in its path. West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh on high alert. Odisha evacuates over 11 lakh people from coastal areas. Over 220 trains on Kolkata-Chennai route cancelled till Saturday. All flights in and out of Bhubaneswar cancelled for today. Election Commission clears third speech of Prime Minister Modi, says PM's nuclear button remark at a rally in Barmer did not violate poll code. Poll panel also okays Rahul Gandhi's election speech in Jabalpur. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath gets notice over controversial remark. Campaigning picks for fifth phase, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address rallies in Rajasthan, Amit Shah in Jharkhand and Lucknow, Rahul Gandhi tours MP and Rajasthan, Mayawati to lead BSP's charge in Uttar Pradesh. And UN decision forces Pakistan to act against global terrorist Masood Azhar. Pakistan government orders freeze on Jaish-e-Mohammed, the chief's assets, bans travel, sale and purchase of arms. Cyclone Foni is our top story. It made landfall at Odisha coast south of Puri at around 8:15 a.m. in the morning today. The wind speed exceeded 180 kilometers when the storm hit the coast. Now, Foni is moving north-northeastwards with a speed of about 22 kilometers per hour over the northwest and adjoining West Central Bay of Bengal and is 40 kilometers from Puri. It is likely to move north-northeastwards and cross Odisha coast between Gopalpur and Chandbali south of Puri during a forenoon with the maximum sustained wind speeds of 170 to 180 kilometers per hour, exceeding to 200 kilometers per hour. Now, the process of landfall is expected to take around 5 hours, causing heavy storm, very heavy rainfall and phenomenal sea conditions. The Met Department has said that the entire eye of the storm will be on land at around 11 a.m. today. It will likely cross Odisha and then emerge in West Bengal early morning tomorrow. Heavy rainfall has been recorded at many places over Ganjan, Gajapati, Khurda, Puri and Jagatsinghpur districts since last night. The Met Department has dubbed the extremely severe storm as one of the strongest landfalling cyclones in the country's recorded history. All right, Mr. S.N. Pradhan, DG NDRF is now joining us on the phone line. A very good morning, sir, and thanks so much for joining us. Sir, Cyclone Foni has hit Odisha's Puri with very heavy rainfall. Around 10,000 villages, more than 50 towns lie on its path. More than 11 lakh people, of course, have been evacuated. But how will be the impact? Because there are also fears that the Jagannath temple could also be damaged by the cyclone. How prepared are we?
Well, as far as the preparation is concerned, I think all the possible preparatory steps have been taken, and I think adequately taken. As far as NDRF is concerned, we have deputed in excess of 80 teams, out of which 50 were already pre-positioned 48 hours before the cyclone was supposed to land. And now that it has landed, I think we'll be put to test. It is a severe cyclone in the extremely severe category, which has hit Puri just now. And yes, there are concerns of all kinds, but I think we should also not speculate because we never know what exactly is going to happen. So basically, the preparation is all we have in our control, and that preparation, I think, is of the highest order possible in the collaboration with the state governments. And as I said, 81 teams have been deployed, and 10 more teams are coming for Odisha. That will make it 38 teams in Odisha itself. And in Bengal, we have deputed 6 teams as pre-positioned teams, apart from having 12 on standby. Similarly, in Andhra Pradesh, we have 12 teams pre-positioned with 6 on standby. So all in all, I think the preparations are good, and the local disaster management authorities, the local government, the state governments, and the version of the state SDRFs are also coordinating with us. So the evacuation has happened because of that coordination, and evacuating in excess of 10 lakh people, that's 1 million people, more than 1 million people, is itself a difficult task, but it could happen because of that coordination. It's an emotive issue. People don't want to leave their properties so easily, but it has been achieved. So I think the first step of safety has been achieved. Now it's an issue of the operation on ground zero, because the storm has started unfolding, and we'll have to do our best. It will be, as I said, it will be testing our efficiency and efficacy.
Absolutely. And so, as far as, the super cyclone of 1999 was concerned, that also hit Odisha, and lots of people died in that. Now, this landfall process of Cyclone Fani has begun. So tell us how the preparations are different from what we had seen way back in 1999.
I think at the outset, I would say that the preparation has been much better, because we could leverage the technology and the better predictions which has come from the Indian Meteorological Department. I would like to go on record in complimenting the Indian scientists of the Indian Meteorological Department, because they have, more than any other agency across the world, they have been the most accurate in predicting the landfall, as well as the timing, as well as the exact placement. So I think it is a testimony of the prowess of Indian scientific community and Indian science, which is making rapid progress. And because of that, we could get that lead time to prepare properly. And that is why I think it's a marked difference between what was 5 years ago, or even at the time of the super cyclone in '99, which really wreaked havoc across Orissa, and there were more than 10,000 lives lost. In comparison to that, the preparation and the lead time was much better. So I would hope that accordingly the damages would be also much less.
All right, so you stay with us. So we'll just come back to you. Let me remind our viewers that about 10,000 villages, more than 50 towns lie on the path, which is the most severe storm since the super cyclone of 1999 that killed 10,000 people in Odisha. Now, rail and flight services in Odisha will remain disrupted for today as well as tomorrow. More than 220 trains on the Kolkata-Chennai route have been cancelled until Saturday. All flights in and out of capital Bhubaneswar also remain cancelled for the day today. Around 900 cyclone shelters have been made ready to house evacuees. Volunteers have been deployed at the shelters along with adequate relief material and food supply. Troops of the Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guard and 78 teams of the National Disaster Response Force have also been deployed. Indian Navy has also deployed 3 ships with relief material and medical teams for rescue operations. And the helpline number 1938 set up by the Home Ministry has also become operational. And in order to ensure zero casualty in the extremely severe cyclone in the state, Odisha government has evacuated over 11 lakh people from low-lying areas along the 480 kilometers coastline to the safer places. Also, leaves of all the government medical officers stand cancelled till 15th of May. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik has also advised people not to panic and has assured that the government is fully prepared to tackle the cyclone. Tourists from Puri have also been evacuated, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday also chaired a high-level meeting to review preparedness for Cyclone Fani. And other states on the east coast of the country, namely West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, are also expected to be affected by the cyclone. And our colleagues are joining us. They are tracking the developments very, very closely. Aruna Thakur is joining us from the Met Department in New Delhi, and Panchanan Mishra is also joining us from Kolkata in West Bengal. If I can come to you first, Aruna. Now, Cyclone Foni is being billed as the most severe cyclonic storm since the super cyclone of 1999. The landfall process has begun, and it is likely to last for another 3 hours. So what is the Met Department saying?
Yeah, exactly, Aishwarya. Right now, they have said that it is almost landfall is there in the parts of south of Puri. So we have to see that the impact. What they are saying that it will last for 3 to 4 another hours. So it is very crucial for Odisha coastal areas in the and the people living there. So they have to, what the government and the IMD people have issued the advisory that they should not come out of the home and strictly follow the advisories which are issued by the state government and as well as the other authorities. And it is also news coming from more than 11 lakh people have been evacuated till now, and the evacuation is still on, and most of the trains, like around more than 222 trains have been cancelled. So it's a panic time, but government is saying that don't panic right now and strictly follow the advisories which are issued by several authorities. Aishwarya.
All right, now let's go across to Panchanan Mishra, who's joining us from West Bengal. Panchanan, now the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, disaster management, all the agencies are fully prepared. They are on standby. But you know, after crossing Odisha, the cyclone is likely to move towards West Bengal before tapering off. So what are the preparations there?
After Odisha, it will approach to West Bengal, and it is expected that around 5 p.m. This evening, it will touch to Midnapur in West Bengal, and alert has been sounded in 8 to 12 districts of West Bengal, including Kolkata, Hooghly, and Howrah and Purulia. And Met Department has predicted it, and NDRF and state administration has made all the arrangement to relief and rescue operations. Schools has been closed, and flight operations will be not there from this evening from 9:30 to tomorrow 6 p.m. And in the same way, the railway operations will be halted due to this super cyclone. As in 2009, exactly 10 years ago in May month, there was a super cyclone Aila which caused more than 300 deaths in West Bengal and neighboring Bangladesh. So this time NDRF teams are on alert, and in Kolkata itself we have seen that many hoardings has been brought down to ground because it may cause a casualty, and also big trees are being cut, and the people has been advised through newspapers and also through advisories that they should remain inside when there is a super cyclone. So at this time the technology is quite good, and predictions are always better. So
right.
It is expected that there will be no casualty and all the things. So the whole preparations has been made. Aishwarya?
All right. Panchanan, you stay with us. We'll just come back to you. Let's go across now to Mr. S.N. Pradhan, DG NDRF. Sir, we've been speaking to our reporters, and they've been telling us how the preparations are there and everyone is fully geared up. But you tell us how important really are the coordination of different agencies involved in the rescue and, of course, the relief operations here, because that is very significant. And also tell us what should the people who are probably on the way of the cyclone take measures in order to ensure that there's no harm done to them.
Okay, first on the issue of coordination, I think, Aishwarya, the issue is that the state, disaster management as a subject is actually a state subject. But the fact of the matter is that every disaster is taken by the national government as a national problem also. And that's why there is this support from the national government. And that's why, with all seriousness, the Cabinet Secretary, Sir, holds the Crisis Management Committee meeting on almost every day. And that's the seriousness with which the central government has taken, and you can see that the funds have also been allotted, and other details that you gave have already been worked out, and NDRF teams have been placed well in time. So the coordination, of course, is of a very high standard, and when the state government cooperates, the results shows on the ground. And that is what I think is happening, because every state government is now aware that disaster is something that can affect the lives of people, especially the poor people. And that's why there is a lot of coordination on ground, and I'm happy to say that the coordination is of the highest order in most of the states. So that is the part of the coordination. As far as the advisory to the people is concerned, I think one of the most important things is to stay indoors. And if you think that your four walls are not strong enough, and if you are living in a thatched hut, hutment, etc., you must move to higher ground and pakka houses and shelters, cyclone shelters. In Odisha itself, there are 900 plus cyclone shelters. In Andhra Pradesh, there are again multiple hundreds of cyclone shelters on the coastal districts which are affected. And so I see every reason that since the state government has made the preparations and the facilities exist, it makes sense that the people should move to not only higher ground but safer residences or safer places of succor, so that they don't come in the line of the harm from the cyclone. So, and probably the other advisory which is critical that I would like to share and give is that they should take the minimum basic essentials with them, including basic clothes, medicine, food items to last probably 48 to 72 hours. That will stand them in good stead as a survival kit. Between these two things, if they can get a good shelter and if they can have a basic minimum of food and clothing to last a few days, I think they'll be good to go.
Right. And sir, speaking about you said about 11 lakh, of course, people have been evacuated from low-lying areas to shelters. So till what time are the people going to stay in those shelters, and what measures are being taken to ensure their safety as well as that their food and water necessities are taken care of?
As far as my information goes from ground, I'm getting information on a regular basis, and I believe that the state governments have made the preparation. In Odisha, I can specifically speak about Odisha, where the majority of the damage is expected. There, the shelters have been kept ready, and even extra shelters have been provided this time. And the food items, etc., are also ready. And the NDRF has cooperated in evacuation, and also that there is already preparation in terms of advisories, and schools have been closed, etc. So all the safety measures have been taken, and I think because the NDRF on ground is also equipped with some of the best equipment and boats, etc. And Air Force has kept 2 helicopters on standby, if not in Odisha, but just outside Odisha, so that if required, food packets, etc., can be dropped. And IMD is monitoring on a regular basis. So I think overall, the preparation and the coordination is pretty good.
All right. So the state government and all the agencies saying that they are fully prepared. Of course, super cyclone of 1999 had killed 10,000 people in Odisha, but this time the government wants to ensure zero casualty. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Mr. S.N. Pradhan, DJ NDRF, for joining us. Also, would like to thank our reporters, Panchanan Mishra joining us from West Bengal, and Aruna joining us from outside the Met Office. Thank you so much, both of you as well, for joining us there. Of course, through the day today, we'll keep getting you all the updates on Cyclone Phoni. PM Modi has also reviewed preparedness for Cyclone Phoni with the senior most officials. All the details will be given to you through the day today. But right now, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Welcome back after the break, and now let's get you all the election related news. The Election Commission on Thursday gave a clean chit to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his Barmer election speech. The Election Commission said that PM Modi did not violate the Model Code of Conduct during his election speech in Rajasthan's border town of Barmer, where he invoked the armed forces and said that India's nuclear button was not kept for use in Diwali. Now, this was the third clean chit by the Election Commission to the Prime Minister in connection with the poll-related speeches. The Election Commission examined the matter in detail and was of the considered view that in this matter, no such violation of the advisories or provisions is attracted. And the Election Commission has also cleared Congress President Rahul Gandhi's poll speech in Madhya Pradesh. The poll panel said that Rahul Gandhi did not violate the Model Code of Conduct during an election speech in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh on 23rd of April, where he had made a comment against BJP chief Amit Shah. Giving a clean chit to Rahul Gandhi, the EC official said that the complaint was examined in detail and the commission was of the view that no violation of the Model Code of Conduct is made out. Remember, the BJP had complained to the EC about the comment. Meanwhile, campaigning for the remaining phases of the Lok Sabha elections is at its peak. All the political parties are going out to appeal to the voters. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to campaign in Rajasthan today. He will address 3 public rallies in the state in Hindon, in Karoli, Dholpur Lok Sabha constituency, in Sikar as well as in Bikaner. Remember, 12 Lok Sabha seats in Rajasthan will vote in the 5th phase on 6th of May. And BJP chief Amit Shah will lead party's campaign in Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh today. He will address poll rallies in Kodarma, Khunti and Ranchi in Jharkhand. 4 seats of Jharkhand will go to polls in the 5th phase on 6th of May. Amit Shah will also address a public meeting in UP's capital Lucknow, where he will campaign for BJP candidate here, Rajnath Singh. External Affairs Minister and senior BJP leader Sushma Swaraj will address a Vijay Sankalp Samvad at a college in Jaipur today. And Congress President Rahul Gandhi will campaign in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. In Madhya Pradesh, he will address a public rally in Rewa, and he will also hold a rally in Bharatpur in Rajasthan. And BSP chief Mayawati will campaign in Uttar Pradesh today. She will be in Sultanpur and in Siddharth Nagar today. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where a brief exchange of firing took place between the security forces and militants in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian district this morning. The encounter took place in Akhara area of Imam Sahib of Shopian district. A joint team of Army's 34 Rashtriya Rifles and SOG had launched a cordon and search operation in the area this morning following informations about the presence of militants here. As the joint team of forces approached the suspected, the hiding militants fired upon the forces, triggering an encounter. Remember, on 25th of April, 2 Hizbul Mujahideen militants were killed in a gun battle in South Kashmir's Anantnag district, and till last week's encounter, the number of militant deaths stood at 71 this year. And the United Nations declaring Masood Azhar as a global terrorist has forced Pakistan to act. The Imran Khan-led government has issued an official order to freeze the assets of Jaish-e-Mohammed, the chief. The Pakistan government has also imposed a travel ban. He has been also banned from selling and purchasing firearms. In a notification issued on Wednesday, Pakistan Foreign Ministry directed the officials to take action as appropriate for the implementation of sanctions against the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.